My name is Jeff Hickman. I'm the Director of Public Affairs for the State of Hawaii Department of Defense. And today I have with me two special guests who are going to go over the Defense Organizational Climate Survey, or the DEOCS. If you can, introduce yourselves and tell me your title and the office that you work in.
Absolutely. I am Hannah Saby. I'm one of the 4 analysts. I'm part of the Integrated Primary Prevention Workforce.
Hi, my name is Daniel Leatherman, and I'm called a Tactical Prevention Specialist, and I also work in the Office of the Integrated Primary Prevention Workforce.
Excellent. Before we get started, we'd like to share a little bit about background with ourselves so our viewers can learn a little bit more about you. And we share what's called the Guard story. So I know you weren't in the Guard, but you still have a Guard story. But let us know what you did to get to this point here.
I am a National Guard spouse. So the Guard has created our family to be resilient, and that is something I am passionate about. So I would love to pay it forward, and this is what I'm doing.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I've always had a passion for helping people. In my military career, some of you may recognize my face. I was the wing chaplain at the 154th before I retired just a few years ago. And so throughout my chaplaincy, it's really been a passion to help people and help organizations. And after I retired, I kind of continued to look for ways in which I can continue to serve this Guard community, and this is now one way I get to do that through our prevention efforts, really.
And I hear your prevention efforts. You have a really cool tagline. Can you share that tagline?
Yeah, it's called Pono, Practice, and Purpose. Building integrity, delivering excellence, and empowering positive change.
That's excellent. And it's pretty catchy. 3 Ps. All right. Last year, there was a big push for this survey to get done, and we had an informational campaign. We even did a podcast last year to explain a little bit more about it. But I'm sure there's some new soldiers, airmen, and civilian employees out there who haven't heard of the DEOCS survey. What is the DEOCS survey, and how often is it given?
So, back up just a little bit. So, the Office of this integrated primary prevention workforce, one of the things we do is our office is charged with a mission to reduce harm and build resiliency throughout the Guard community, the Air and the Army. And so this organizational climate survey, this DEOCS, really is one of the tools that we have in our toolbox that is critical in allowing us to do that. It is this annual survey where every member of the National Guard, and including our civilian workforce, has a voice in how our organization is shaped. Because without your voice, and without the voices of our National Guard members, we're not able to identify areas of risk, but also identify areas in which we're strong in, and we can talk more about that a little bit later, but what we call positive or preventive factors, right? So there are risk factors and preventive factors, and we look at both of those through this climate survey.
So you can get a lot of information if there's more participation.
Absolutely. And it's not just sort of the baseline survey. In some cases, we've asked additional questions to our members that are very specific about their areas, things like issues of childcare or finance, things like that we are able to really drill down and focus on, so that we can then later come back and advise command on maybe what types of additional resources they can take advantage of.
So this is actually an opportunity for soldiers, airmen, and DA civilians to have their voices be heard.
Absolutely.
So you talked about who should complete it and why. What is the goal of the participation? Do you have like a specific number you're trying to hit?
Last year's participation rate was 48%. This year, we would love to increase it by 10%. So that's 58% overall.
And that seems very achievable, 58%. When will the survey be available for the HING personnel and the civilians?
From August 1st to October 31st.
And where will this survey be located, and how do they know they got to take it?
It will be sent via email, and you will be required to enter your DOD number.
Okay, and that DOD number is on the back of their CAT card.
Absolutely,
so they
yes.
need that number.
Correct. So what's going to happen is that their organization leadership has kind of an action officer that will gather all of the names of the members within the unit, right? Whether that be at a squadron level or the company, the brigade, et cetera, so on and so forth. And they will basically compile those names and the DoD ID numbers. We then upload them to the DEOCS server. That will then push out an email come around about August 1st. And that will be the indicator. It'll come to your email, whatever email you have on file. It could be your military email, it could be a civilian email, whatever email you designate, really, because you don't need to be on a military computer to take this.
That's
you can
important.
just,
That's good to know.
you can be on your phone standing in line.
That's my next question.
Yeah, right.
That's my next one. Okay, so how long does it take to do the survey? Like an hour?
About 15 minutes, and you can definitely do it while you're waiting for your PHA.
Yeah. Somebody also said that you could do it while you're waiting for that bottle of water you drank before you do your analysis test. In that time you're kind of waiting before you got to go, right?
And you had a specific one about eating?
Oh yes, while you're standing in line at the DFAC. Yeah, for all the air guys, I remember. We stand in that line out there by the courtyard in front of the DFAC, waiting to get in. You could just take the DFAC right there.
Okay, and for the Army guys, it's as long as it takes to go from Kalailoa to the Kapolei Taco Bell.
But don't do it while you're driving.
Don't
Yes,
do- don't-
please don't do it while you're
It's going to
driving.
take that long.
That's a safety concern.
That is a safety concern. So 15 minutes, you're shooting for 58%. It's given annually. Great information so far. So now, what happens with the results of the survey? And does it help the HING or the J9 section?
Yes, absolutely. We get the results once the survey is completed. It's compiled. None of the information that originally was given to us by action officers, such as your email or your DoD number, is linked to the answers. All we get are the survey results, a compiled report of all your comments, and that is sent to us via report.
Okay, so it's completely confidential. No personal information is attached to the survey results.
Correct.
Yeah, we're not able to identify any one specific person, right? What we do know is the comments came from this unit, and that's it. But we still, we would hope that every soldier or airman or civilian employee that does participate in the DEOCS survey is, please be honest. Absolutely. We need that kind of honesty. We need to. It helps us to really be able to advise command. Now, we take all of this information that we get from throughout the HING, both Army, Air, and with our civilian workforce, and we analyze it. We look for patterns within the data, and then we produce what's called a comprehensive
integrated primary prevention plan.
Yeah, it's a mouthful,
It's a
but
mouthful.
we call it the CIP, the CIPP, right? The Comprehensive Integrated Primary Prevention Plan. And this is something that is signed by the TAG and briefed to all of command leadership. And it is a report, a comprehensive report of what's happening in the HING.
And was some of the information that was learned from last year in the SIP actions taken for this year?
Yes.
So every year actions are
Yes,
learned?
we've done prevention activities such as implement 4 lenses. We've done sensing sessions. We've also done a lot of commanders back briefs for our DEOCS.
Okay, so commanders can learn at their level as well.
Yes, in fact, we would encourage our commanders that are watching this too, give us a call. Once your DEOCS results are completed, and give us some time to do the analysis, but we are more than happy to directly brief commanders on their DEOCS results and provide them with some insights on their organization. They may be things that they already know, but in some cases, some of the questions were actually, or the responses were actually quite revealing, in a excuse me, in a positive way, right? And brought to light some areas that of concern that the commander wishes to address and wants to bring in some additional resources.
So between the Army Guard and the Air Guard last year, who had better participation?
Army.
Army did.
Yeah.
Oh, Okay, so we need the air guys to step up a little bit. Let's get that participation up so then you can have bragging rights for a whole year. Army will be losing it
Come on,
on
Air.
August 1st. All right.
Army.
All right. Well, thank you very much for spending time with us today and sharing a lot of information about the DEOCS survey. August 1st until Halloween, the emails will be sent out. It takes 15 minutes. Commanders can ask for briefs to hear their SIP or their comprehensive reports of their data. I'd like to thank Dan and Hannah for being with us today. Did you have a last message you wanted to share?
Yes, please. Your voice matters. Your voice makes a difference and is an integral part of how our Hawaii National Guard is shaped. We need your voice. We need your input. We need your mana'o. And please join us in taking the organizational climate survey when it comes out this August 1st.
All right, thank you. If you need any more information, there will be a website below that you can get information from, ask questions that wasn't covered in today's or a little more clarification. Thank you again for joining us today.
Thank
Aloha.
you.
Aloha.